All right, we're back. It's a real pleasure to welcome my first guest tonight, one of the world's most popular actors, Mr. Clint Eastwood. I finally got you here, that's terrific. I was standing out in line and some guy handed me a beer and said you should just swing right in. I'm glad you came by. Everyone's wrapping up and I thought I'd join the many people saying goodbye. Good to see you. Wishing you well. I feel good. Yeah, I feel good. I was watching television the other night. They were playing one of your early films on cable. It made me think about your beginnings. You started out on a $75 a week contract here in Hollywood, right? That was many years ago, at least 4 or 5 years ago, as the joke goes. Do you remember those pictures? Revenge of the Creature, Lady Godiva, Tarantula, those classics you probably try to forget. Every actor has a few of those. You have to start somewhere, even if it's just a small scene here and there. But tonight isn't about plugging films. This is a farewell moment, a swan song, you might say. Still, Unforgiven is opening soon, and it's a remarkable film with Gene Hackman, Richard Harris, and Morgan Freeman. A wonderful cast. When you see your old work on television, does it ever make you uneasy? There was a time when performers had little control over what resurfaced. Sometimes you look back and laugh. Sometimes you cringe. Even decades later, those early appearances can feel embarrassing. Clint took it all in stride, joking about how different he looked back then. Time changes everyone. Hair turns gray, styles evolve, careers take unexpected paths. The conversation drifted to Rawhide, the long years on television, and then to the European westerns that changed everything. Those films had a distinctive style, shaped largely by Sergio Leone. His approach was unconventional, almost operatic. Extreme close-ups, wide dramatic frames, and a rhythm unlike anything audiences were used to. Leone's lack of attachment to Hollywood's traditional rules gave those films their raw energy. Scenes that once required rigid editing conventions suddenly felt fluid and bold. The result was something unforgettable. They reminisced about favorite films, including The Outlaw Josey Wales, a project filled with character and emotional weight. Then came stories from unusual on-set experiences, including working with powerful animals like orangutans, creatures of immense strength and surprising personality. From filmmaking, the discussion wandered into politics. Clint spoke about serving as mayor of Carmel, describing it as an experience he genuinely enjoyed but never intended to extend beyond a single term. Public service, like entertainment, has its seasons. Before long, humor returned to center stage as David Letterman joined the exchange. The playful teasing began immediately. Jokes flew about ties, cats, and the peculiarities of show business. The warmth between old friends filled the room. Letterman shifted the perspective entirely. Instead of dwelling on farewell sadness, he celebrated endurance, 30 years of nightly entertainment, an extraordinary achievement. The message was simple. This wasn't an ending but a transition. Stories followed as they always did. Tales of awkward encounters, odd moments, and the unpredictable nature of life on airplanes. Observations about human behavior, each delivered with timing that made even mundane events hilarious. Then came a memory about a beloved dog named Bob, a loyal companion and frequent subject of anecdotes. One summer day, a mishap involving spoiled ground beef led to frantic calls to the veterinarian and a bizarre but unforgettable backyard remedy involving hydrogen peroxide. It was the kind of story that perfectly captured the spirit of the evening, ordinary, absurd, and deeply human. And through laughter, reflection, and nostalgia, the night carried on.